tool that I'm going to show you is honestly, like it's my go-to. This tool's been around and it's actually being upgraded on October 13th. Nothing that's really going to affect the way that I show you today. It's just going to make it a little faster, a little more user-friendly, kind of on the back end. This has like changing, you have to change your password every 30 days, like it's going to every 6 months, just little things like that. But it will just have a slightly different appearance from what you see today on October 13th. So when we get you all logged into your own accounts, just don't freak out that you're in the wrong place. So yeah, so this is, am I able to,
yeah, let me give you
over here?
Share ability here. Go right ahead.
Okay, all right. You guys, let's see here. See. All right, you guys seeing that big map?
I don't know if it's come through. I don't see anything yet.
All right, let's see here.
I think I gave you a share screen.
There we go. There.
Something's popping up now. There we go. Perfect.
All right. You see Camelback Road and 51 and all that good stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is our tool proprietary to the Fidelity family of companies. It's called, we call it Night Owl kind of internally because it's available 24/7. It's at your fingertips. If you have a sleepless night, you could be a night owl like me and kind of look into what's going on with ownership or properties changing hands and whatnot. So this is going to be your landing page when you jump on here, and it has a couple different aspects to it. It's got this property. So I'm over here on the top left side is the property search tab, farming leads, and premium leads. Premium leads are for states outside of, mainly for California and New York for that matter, where we can't give proprietary leads to clients because of various state statutes. So you'll never really use that premium leads tab because everything that it includes is already at your fingertips and it's included at no charge to you as our free tool here.
Awesome.
So go ahead.
No, that's great.
So this is my jumping off point, and this isn't the farming lead generating side of this tool, but it is something that's so very helpful just to know that you've got it at your fingertips, is this property search. This is a nationwide tool, but I always have throughout the disclaimer that as you go further east, the information just gets a little less reliable. In the West, we're very, electronic recordings, everything's online. We've got a lot of technology at our fingertips, whereas as you move further east, they just haven't quite caught up to the way we digitally record and index things here. As you can see on this property search tool, these are the various ways that you can actually search property in any state for that matter, but we'll just stick with Maricopa County for the purposes of this conversation. Okay. The great news is, like, if you have a specific owner and you've got an LLC that we know he may own multiple properties underneath, but you don't know the addresses, you can type in the owner's name and it'll pull up everything that they own in that particular county. Mailing address as well. So if we don't know the name of the LLC, but we know he sends everything to a PO box, you can type in the mailing address and it'll show everything that particular entity owns as well. Site address, APN, and even intersection search. This tool also has an app that goes along with it. So once you're registered on the desktop version, you can download the app onto your phone. And the coolest part of that app is when you enable your location services and say you're at an intersection where you want to know, there's something that's caught your eye. It's either, for whatever reason, and you can actually hop on your app and it'll pinpoint your location. And if there's a hard corner that you're at, it will actually map that for you, and you'll be able to click and get one of these reports that I'm going to show you here in a moment, just based upon having the app on your phone. So it's actually really cool. I'm going to do a site address search just as my example. So I'm going to use my office address, 2390 East. Hit find. So it obviously just drops a pin on the aerial shot there. And then it's going to pull up this property report for us. The couple different things here is I'm going to pull, all of these boxes are checked just for the, just for the purposes of this demonstration. There are obviously things, especially that apply in commercial real estate, that you may not need as part of this report, but I'll show it to you. And so just in the future, if there's anything you don't need, you can uncheck the box and it's already included here.
Got it.
The link that we're going to pull up actually has the hyperlinked documents attached to it. So it has the deed, it'll have deed of trust, and I'll show you that in a second. But if you're planning on printing this report for any other reason, this add documents little button here will actually add the deed of trust and add the deed to this report on the back end, and then you can print it off, or you could package it up in an email and send it off that way rather than the hyperlinks. So I'm just going to, this is just going to be the regular profile report that I've got there. I'm going to click OK. And this is what it generates. So this information obviously is the specific address I gave in. This over here where it says prepared by Tanya will be your name and information there with your mailing address and email address. So this is what I call it is a short title report. Honestly, it's great information because at one quick snapshot, you can see who the owner is, what their mailing address is. You can confirm the site address, confirm the APN number, and then just the abbreviated legal. This is a big legal, it's a meets and bounds legal, but it just gives us an index of that. Property characteristics, obviously some of these don't apply. And we can see the transfer value here. So transfer date, value, who the seller was, the document number, the first loan information. The fact that I insured this $212 million deal is okay too. So it just happens to have a Commonwealth title company name right there. So that works. Tax information as well. Once again, aerial map included in the report. And here you go. So here's transaction history. And this is where it gets really cool, is you can see that this is the loan of record. And this hyperlink right here is a direct link to download that document. So instead of hopping back and forth between the assessor site and the recorder site, this lands everything in one quick stop. And then you can see the transaction here with the, once again, hyperlinked deed. The release of the prior deeds of trust for the previous ownership, prior transfers. So you've got a little short chain of title. It's going to kind of tell you what, and the price that it transferred for. So we went from 163 million to 212. But you get a good little snippet of like what this property's story is for the releases, mortgage records, all that good stuff.
Wow.
But once again, these are all hyperlinked, so it's super nice. If there's anything you want to click right to, you can. 36 million back in 1998, by the way.
It's crazy.
So here's, once again, our assessor aerial map. Here's our adjacent properties as well. Sales analysis. All right, so these are comps. Some things are obviously harder to comp out than others. I mean, there's not many $200 million transactions that are in Arizona. But as we get into, the other examples I'm going to show you, you'll definitely see that these are better comps. I always say that this is like your third stop for comps. I would never use this as your one and only. You get the assessor's map also attached to this report. Any foreclosure activity, which is not applicable for this particular transaction. Neighbors, so here are all of the adjacent property owners as well. Demographics, if you want them, they're there for you. And once again, like this is the stuff, these are the boxes you can uncheck, like, unless you're dealing with a charter school or anything like that, like, they may or may not want to know education options around them, or competition for that matter. So all of those are schools around us. So that is the property profile report. in a nutshell. Like I said, I love it because it's a one-stop shop between, honestly, what for me it could be 3 to 4 different websites bouncing back and forth. When you, I'm gonna go back up to the first page so you know your options here. So when you land in this report, you have the choice to convert it to a PDF,
Okay.
which will not transfer over the hyperlinks. So if you're going to convert it to a PDF, that's when you go back and click the add documents if you want those deeds attached. You can create the link and email it off to yourself or to, you know, whoever your client might be for this. The link expires after 24 hours. So
Okay.
if they don't view it in 24 hours, it's basically dead, and you have to send it over again. I personally like the PDF option better because I feel like I can go back to it. It's got the documents attached as well. So that is kind of where we kind of jump off in this particular tool. I'm going to close that and get back into the home page here. So I'm going to clear this out. And once again, this does apply. So mainly what you need is, so when we register, it's going to know that you're in your mailing address. It's going to know you fall in Maricopa County. It's always going to default to Maricopa County. You have to, you know, we'll type in Pima here and it'll pull in Pima County, Arizona, or, you know, Orange County.
Okay.
So it will give you all of the Orange County options in the United States right there. If you don't change the county, and you're dealing with out-of-state transit, you know, properties, it'll get stuck. My last little tidbit of advice when you're doing this is if you're doing a site address, keep it simple. So as we get further, once again, east, like you've got an address that's, you know, 2 Northeast S Street or Northeast 1st Street. I would start with 2 East Street or what, you know, don't give it too much. And if it's not going to find it at first, then give it more information. But, you know, sometimes you don't even have to put the direction in it. Like, you know, the fact I put in East Camelback Road is not something you always have to do, and it'll find the right property there. Going back into the top section here for farming. So this is what Dave and I initially spoke about, where I think we can help you guys generate some leads. Love this tool, and it operates off of the whole left-hand column here. So you've got all of these blue tabs that open up and give you more information and more information, more information. So once again, I say less is more with this because you can always check the count of what your search is yielding right here with this count only button. And then you can go back and filter more if you need to. So I'm going to give you one example here of like a loan lead possibility. So I'm going to pick apartments. And I'm going to pick, let's see here, that the purchase price, when you hover over any of these columns, it's going to give you how it needs to be formatted. So like this one is say a range, like give me a range. So I'm going to do exactly what they're asking me, but I'm going to do 2 million to 3 million for just, hopefully that's 300 million, 30 million. And then I'm going to go transactions that have recorded from, just say for the heck of it, because we're dealing with interest rates that may or may not be, you know, the best at that point.
Sure.
2015 to 1/1/2016. And let's see what that yields. So here, count only. So you can see over here now to the right, it's giving me my search summary of what transactions, what I basically told it to search. And here's my count. We've got 36 properties that were apartment complexes purchased between $2 and $3 million between that time frame we gave it. That's actually a really good workable number. Yeah. I will tell you, there are some, you know, some of these you plug in and it's like, you've got 1,148 count. It's like, okay, that's not manageable. So let's go back and you could go in and say, hey, you know, well, let's do it with transactions that have a first mortgage amount of, 500,000 to $1 million for that, for the heck of it. But I'm going to show you guys this part real quick. So I want you to see the 36 because, like I said, that's a workable number. So right here, we go view records. Pops you into this screen here. So it shows us a map with our individual drops. I can go to each of these individually, and I could go to reports, and I could gain that property profile report that I just showed you for this one transaction, or this one property for that matter.
Got it.
I can also scroll down here to this part of the page, and I can see all of the 36 results that it gave me. And we can, if there's any of these, I really didn't want anything in Tempe. I really just wanted to look for things in Phoenix and whatnot. You have those options to uncheck them here. But if we want to select records, we're just going to call this test for the heck of it. And we're going to say all of them. I'm going to export this. Into my little Excel spreadsheet here. Open. So now I've got this Excel spreadsheet of, obviously you can modify any of the columns that you'd like, but it's got every single one of those transactions. And as I go along here, I've got the last sale information, transfer value, the actual sale date here, and then I can even go further over and see tax information, lot area information, mailing address for the owner as well.
Square footage, track.
Tax codes, taxes, information there. So
That's great.
This obviously can be manipulated however you want. I mean, the holy grail is phone numbers, and I will tell you that that new version in October 13th is supposed to have some phone numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not optimistic about that, but that's one of the sections that they've added and to kind of get a little bit more honed in on with.
Yeah, it's that a lot of this would be really good, especially when we're sending our packages out to lenders.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to have those property profiles.
Exactly. Yes.
Really helpful.
And I honestly pull one of these for every single transaction that I open, so to verify with my title department what we're actually dealing with.
Yeah.
So that is the way that you export those. You can obviously pull the reports. We can put these into mailing labels if you needed to do, kind of a radius search, or if you wanted to do, a mailing to those particular clients. So yeah, so that's a really fun aspect of the farming tool. I am going to clear that one, but as you can see, demographics, I have a lot of options. I'm sorry, property use and characteristics have a lot of options even on this drop down. So those were, these are kind of the generalized terms. But if you click on these three dots over here, then you get into even some more specific usages. And then if you want to get in even further in, then you go to a specific use code, which that's not pulling up. Oh, because I'm in apartments. That's why. All right, I'm going to clear this. So get into, and this gives you, I mean, you could even go into auto repair. That might hone in on some of those options. Cold storage, self-storage is its own area there. Community shopping centers. You can see like this really digs in to get more detailed. That's where I would say start with the generalized term, view your count, and then it's like, okay, let's hone this in a little bit better to what we're actually trying to accomplish. So you can see that option. All right, once again, always hit clear when you're ready to start a new search, because when you stop getting results, it's usually because something's left behind, and trust me, I've had to learn that the hard way.
Yes. Yep.
All right, so let's do one that just searches by a previous mortgage. Okay. You always need to start up here with your property use and characteristics. That's where if you don't do that, you're going to mill a ton of results.
Okay.
Too many that matter. So let's do commercial office, and let's do a first loan First mortgage of, once again, let's see here, let's do 2 million to 3 million again, just for the heck of it. And those, that same date for the heck of it, 2015 to 2016. And see if we can find how many commercial offices were, had financing put on first mortgage amount in that range during this time frame. Count only once again, 35. So if that's a workable number, we can once again go back and do, that export if we want to. So count only, if I like that number, view records is your next click. And then that's where it'll filter in that information down below and drop the pins. And that's where you can export it from. That second step is where we get hung up on quite a bit. Yeah. If you wanted less than 35 and you still wanted to gather more information, we could say an interest rate, I don't know, 3 to 5, give it that. And let's see how many count onlys are in that range of.
That's good.
So now we've got 13 that we're working with. We could even go further in and go, I mean, these drop downs are all kinds of, options here. All kinds of loan types. And we can go into different lenders. We can go into a variable rate. I don't know, I haven't tried this one. Let's see what it does for the heck of it. None. So it's not capitalizing on any of those. Fixed rate. 13. So you can see how you can manipulate those columns and gain more information. You'll always purchase type, all of these have different options of purchase money or purchase money refinance. I don't know, let's see what this yields. It's called Night Owl for a reason, for those of us that are kind of nerdy at midnight. They're like, oh, what is this? What is this going to lead me to? Yeah, exactly. Let's see. So let's take out the interest rate and do a refinance. Okay, so we've got that one transaction there. We can just pull that one by itself if we wanted to. View record. We'll drop that pin, and I can pull that right there with that report by itself. Is there any type of transaction you want me to pull as an example?
Yeah, let's.
I was thinking for searching, I kind of had a question with the variables, so playing with it, thinking of it already. So say we wanted to run office and maybe owner user or owner occupied. And then if mortgage first and mortgage LTV in second, so say we just did commercial office, in that mortgage first to look for a list of people to go after refi, that variable date of first mortgage due, is that a pretty reliable date if we said, okay, 6 months from now, they have a first coming due if they only have a first on it. And maybe there's, maybe they want to refi. Maybe it's a good list to go after to talk about refining with them.
Absolutely. Yes, that is reliable information. I would say the owner user aspect of it might be where it gets hung up. Yeah, it's the only thing, because, you've got to remember a lot of our information, I would say 90% of the information that goes into this Black Knight tool is a public record. And so, a lot of what's in the promissory note doesn't necessarily carry through, but I will say, we obviously pay a company, to go through and gather this data. And I've seen it be pretty accurate, but that's always just my little, asterisk in the conversation there for sure.
I think that, well, either way, if you pick a property type and just say, office or industrial, and you pick a certain square footage.
You can do I would do a range once again.
1,500 to 5,000 square feet or something. Probably going to run into mostly owner occupied. And then if you can put the date of a year out from the deed, from the balloon date, that would start getting interesting. That would be really powerful information right there, because then we just have to figure out how we connect with them.
Sure. And the owner, the other, so obviously you can see owner occupied is actually one of the tabs here. Once again, I think that would be one of my, like, you know, yield my count, check and see what that is, and then go back and see, you know, if we want to yield that. The owner occupancy comes from mailing addresses being the same as the property address as well. So, you know, remember what, but yeah, I wouldn't start there and rely just on owner occupied office, you know, go there first. So,
well, we have to stay in the property type.
That's
yes,
good.
Exactly. So commercial office,
Yeah.
owner occupied, and we could do,
Just pull the, you know, everything from 5 to 6%.
so what price range would be, I'm sorry, what mortgage amount?
Put first mortgage of $500,000 to $2 million. And then if you can do within the due date within 1 year, well, put the interest rate maybe 5 to 6%, or even 5 to 7%. I mean,
So let's just start there and see what that yields. I don't remember if I hit clear. Okay, 38.
Yeah.
And then what was the other?
Due within a year.
Would be,
So if you have to put it in
first
mortgage due date.
There we go. So due in 1 year from,
yeah, 1 year from today.
okay, so let's do 10.
And 6/21.
Let's do 9/1/2020 to 10/30/2020. Give it a range once again. Let's see what it says.
Zero.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but if we eliminate the interest rate,
Yep.
let's take a look at that. None.
Ah.
9/1. I'm afraid if I give it, let me see if I can give it just a 10.
You're supposed to do the.
Oh, I didn't like that.
So you have to put in a date.
Yeah.
An
Range.
date, right? Or range.
Yeah.
or you can go, it looks like
Or is
after
yeah.
equal to like now to.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
Or, yeah, equal to or less than. One.
Okay.
So, yeah. Oh, and I did purchase money. If I eliminate that, let's see what I did. 11.
Okay.
So you can see just those little things like, okay, well, maybe what's, you know, wasn't purchase money and we still got this, you know, it's still got this, this due date coming up. So yeah, it's, you know, arms and all that good stuff that get, you know, those are actually recorded. That's a rider to the deed of trust. So that's pretty accurate information. Yeah. So that is a pretty cool tool. I will say the other little farming option that we've got here is if you wanted to, let me clear this out. Do a geographic draw and say you did just close a loan for an owner occupied office condo transaction and you plugged in, let's play here. Let's oh, sure I'm cleared here. So we did, I've got an office condo in escrow right now. Let me see here. $87.53.
Oh, yeah. Do you, this is probably a no, but do you actually, would this show stuff that's actually in escrow open?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Would this actually show stuff that's actually in escrow open?
No.
Yeah.
No, it would not. So this is dropping a pin. I've asked it to find this address. And so it's dropping a pin on that address. If I wanted to farm out to all of these office condos and this underneath this plat, I can drop a pin and I can use my search tool here and click out.
Oh, nice.
Stop your click with the right mouse button. Let's see here. I want to select records. Oh, let's see here, view records. And this will give me all of the,
That's great.
and you can, once again, export that information right here for ownership information, mailing address, and maybe some phone numbers to let them know you just closed this transaction and got that property owner a great loan for acquisition or refinance, and who's next. So line them up.
Right. No, that's really good stuff. Yeah, thank you for this, Tanya. This is really helpful.
Yeah, you bet.
How do we get access to this? Is it like a website?
Yep. So as soon as we hang up, I will send you each an email with the link to the website and with your first PIN to gain access, and then you can go in and set your own password. And then that email will also contain information on how to download the app that I mentioned as well. So then you'll have full access to exactly what I just showed you, and you can get started. You know, like Dave mentioned to Dave, like this is, you know, I can do this, but then when you get it on your desktop, it's like, oh, I don't remember how to, you know, what to do or how to do it. So I always say, you know, I'd like to I'll follow up with each of you individually, but you know, it's nice to just do like another like 10 or 15, 20-minute recap when it's on your computer and you're actually using it to go over how to get to those certain things. It is a very helpful tool. And like I said, it's at zero charge to you. And you know, there's a lot you can get out of it if you use it. I don't want you not using it because you're getting stuck or because it's not yielding the information that you need. And honestly, like, you know, there's been times where I found, you know, errors in the system too. And I have the ability to email Black Knight and say, hey, this is not correct. And let's correct this. The apartment complex is sold for, you know, a certain amount of, you know, range, and it's giving me nothing. Well, I know that there's something stuck in the system there. Yeah. So that stuff happens, but don't not use it, and just, you know, don't hesitate to say, you know, keep sending me an email. Tanya, this isn't working right. You know, I'm stuck here and we can figure it out, but we're here to support you from day one when you set up on your own, and then some follow-up stuff as well. So yeah, it's a great tool.
Well, we're very thankful for you, and we're excited to use this and also send some opportunities over to you guys to use it for title. So
absolutely. We've got, and once a quarter, I actually get a loan lead list that is emailed to me from my corporate office. Okay. I send those out sparingly to good clients. And so we've modified that search as of, you know, with COVID and everything else just being nutty, but I actually should have that report on my desk here in the next couple of days from the previous quarter. And so I'd love to just send you a sample of those leads. Yeah. And see if you can make anything work off of those as well. So it's really good information.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for that. And I know I will. Did I send you everybody's information, Tanya? Or
you did. I've got it on the invite for the call. So yeah, so I'll just, like I said, everybody will get their own individual email with their own PIN from there. So
that'll be great. Do you guys have questions for her at all about it before we wrap up at all? Or?
I think once you get in, like, that's when it's like, oh man, like, I know she showed me, but I don't remember how to get there. So yeah.
Now that's really, it's going to be super helpful to, like, for information we give to the lender, you know, with those reports. Plus it'll be good to start drilling down proactively some ways that we can start reaching out to people more intentionally. So
yeah, exactly. And if you, like I said, you know, remember these tabs here for owner's names or mailing address. If you stumble upon somebody and you want to know what else they own, get back in here and take a look at this. You know, that will definitely further some great conversations. So
That is awesome. Well, we're always thankful for you, and looking forward to doing some stuff with you this year.
Yes, definitely. And then we'll connect one more time, maybe next week. If we want to do the escrow 101, I'm happy to, kind of go over the nuances of title and escrow on my side. It's a foreign language to most people, but if you just know like this much about what's happening on my end of the transaction, it will make your job and your relationship with your client so much stronger. So it's just a little tidbit, but yeah. So
yeah,
maybe we can set that up.
Yeah, I will shoot out a time or two, and let's plan on doing that because I think that will be real helpful for these guys just to be more proactive when we're dealing with clients. Definitely.
Yep. And yeah, guys, keep my information handy. Honestly, I love being a resource for y'all. If there's something you just want to run by me, it's a question or something that you're just not sure you know the answer to, I'm always happy to support you guys in the back end. If it's a transaction we have, or even if it's a transaction we don't have, I get more calls from clients on transactions that I don't have when they're having problems with other title companies because they don't know to ask they don't know what question to ask. Yeah. Or it's like it's all about the avenue you take with with just knowing a little bit of the possibilities. And some title companies just won't. The answer is just no, and they don't want to give you your options. But if you come to them with options, it's amazing how their answer changes. So once again, happy to be a resource for y'all no matter what. Well, thank you so much. We're excited to do the Title 101 next week so we can get everybody up to snuff. Look forward to it. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Right. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good afternoon. I'll send you those emails shortly. All right. Thanks. Thank you. Take care.